Hey everybody. I'm just going to make this one really, really short and really, really brief. Wanted to talk about Cuomo starting everything all over again. We called this, I mean, it's been a couple of days now since they did what they did. I think either floating the idea or whatever it was going to be for the restaurants down in New York City. These people are going to shut down. These people are losing their businesses. Small businesses around here are losing their businesses. This is the cornerstone of what they are trying to accomplish. They do not care about our businesses. My father worked for Home Depot. Home Depot was declared an essential business several years ago, and he described that to me, what that meant. And it meant that if anything bad happened, that businesses like Home Depot would stay open. You have these large nationalized chains, and these operate out of a corporate headquarters, and they operate in every single one of our states and in every single one of our communities. And you have, my father's a shareholder, so he benefits from it, right? You have employees that benefit from being a part of this. Walmart is another company. You have shareholders that are in each community, and then you also have employees. But we know the level of wage that these businesses provide, and they certainly don't provide a competitive wage. If you're on the lower end, yeah, there's some managers there that make a decent buck. They are, yeah, exactly. I know, Charlie. So what is happening is they are intent on shutting down small businesses. My friend from Venezuela who came here, they want to create division. They want to create chaos. They are using the pandemic as their basis for this. And they're shutting everything down again. And they're starting it all over again. No deaths. Haven't been any deaths. So what's the excuse? Because the case count has gone up, and they're worried that everything is gonna, you could have been done with cases. Sweden was done, Slovenia was done, dozens of countries in Africa were done, Japan done. All of these countries were done months ago. No issues. Schools never shut down, no lockdown, businesses never closed, masks weren't worn. As a matter of fact, I just posted something from CBS Morning Today or whatever back in February where they were saying that masks should not be worn. And they were showing Japan and using Japan as a case as to why Japan wasn't wearing masks and that you should wear them. So watch that if you guys haven't seen that. It's pretty hysterical. So the narrative is flipped. And the reason is that you have politicians now that realize that most of us are going to comply. Most of us are going to be complicit. Most of us aren't going to step up and stand out. We're not going to put our necks on the lines, even for our friends or business owners, even for our loved ones who we are not able to visit. We're not able to go to their funerals. We weren't able to see them before they died. They know we're not going to stand up. So everybody goes, well, when they push us too far, well, when is too far too far? I mean, we had a whole shutdown, a whole lockdown. People's businesses shut down. Suicide rates went through the roof. Mental illness, mental crisis services went through the roof. All that stuff, that they know that happened. It's absolute. It's definitive. That's the science. That's the evidence. And now they want to shut everything down again, and they have no basis for it. None. Zero basis for it. The cornerstone of every good communist regime is to crush small business. That's what they are doing. They are intimidating. They are putting fear into every single small business owner. And thank God people are going out and shopping. The streets are full, which is great. I do like that. That is encouraging. But it's at a moment's notice, it all stops again. The other encouraging thing is that you have my friends alone, hundreds and hundreds of friends of mine that have seen what happened. It has happened. They followed it, and they're like, this is all bullshit. All of it is bullshit. They didn't know at first, and then they were like, no, it's real. This is real and serious, and people are dying. And then they're like, wait a minute. This is all fucking bullshit. You mean that there's nobody has died in Erie County or New York State in this long? And this is going back months ago where people were starting to flip, and they reached out to me on Messenger. And it started to get easier because everything opened. But guess what? Now we're in July. We're in the middle of July. Everybody celebrated Independence Day, which was great individually by doing fireworks, which was great. But still, most of the lockdowns, it still feels like a lockdown. They want to remind you out there, that's what the mask is, guys. The mask is all about fear. It's all about control. It's all about silencing. It's all about, you don't believe me? Go take a look at the Denver mural at the Denver airport. Back in, what was that, built 96 or whatever it was? Everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's wearing a mask. You don't think they had this plan? Stop. They absolutely had a plan. Event 201 proved that. Bill Gates has been on TED Talks for years talking about this and excited about doing this and the prospects of what it would mean once they were able to perpetrate this on everybody. So, nationalize businesses like your big chains. Remember all the small bars that we had? Think about how many small bars you know in this town that closed up, shut down. Think about Charlie. You know your business was bought by a national company. You know, that Buffalo had this entrepreneurial spirit where all of these these people created these businesses. And these businesses were housed here in this area. And they employed people from this area, and they benefited people from this area, and then all the other businesses that were associated from that. The supply chains, the delivery, the restaurants, every single business that benefited from those businesses being there. Now, Charlie's business is just one business. It's one business that was shut down. What happened to them is they were bought out by a national corporation. Now, what happens when these small businesses get absorbed, not a small business, it was a big business. I mean, it was a robust business. I think it was a 100-year business. This has happened hundreds and hundreds of times just in Erie County, where these businesses that were so robust are bought up by national conglomerates. In my opinion, this needs to stop. And why does it need to stop? Because when you only have one or two businesses that are, you have a Lowe's and a Home Depot, you have a Walmart and a Target. Well, guess what? They make one decision to shut it down and it's over and it's done. That's how easy it is, guys. That's why it's so dangerous to have these large corporations, these national corporations buying up these small businesses. And that needs to stop. And in my opinion, the Home Depots and the Lowe's and the Targets, they should all have to have regional corporate presence. They should have to have only local employees at every level. They should have to have that. This prevents communism. This prevents socialism. This prevents tyranny. This prevents fascism. We have allowed our country to be so consolidated. And it's not just Erie County. You take a look at every county. Go through the country and take a look at all the small towns. Take a look at all the small towns that were very robust and they're dead. And everybody goes, well, how did this town get to be here? Well, they had a big business. And then what happened was you had a major corporation come in and buy them. And then they decided that they had the bean counters, that they didn't want that business there anymore. And then you had trade treaties and everything else that, allowed the manufacturing to go overseas or to other parts of the country. Consolidation. With consolidation makes it very easy for communism, tyranny, and fascism and totalitarianism to take a foothold. We need to support our local business owners, guys. Everybody asks me, what can we do? What can we do, Pete? What can I do? Support politicians. Go out there and support politicians that support us. Republicans aren't even speaking up, guys. Conservatives aren't speaking up. Libertarians are speaking up barely, right? They're afraid to talk. They're afraid to say anything. These nationalized corporations have to come to an end. And I've been talking about this for a while. Well, Pete, how do we do that? Well, what we do is we make these major corporations divide in 50 ways in each state individually. And if they want to take on a different name, that's great, but they cannot have one national name anymore. They cannot have any one national presence. It is way too easy to shut everything down. And so many different essential business sectors. Kind of odd and funny how essential business sectors are these national conglomerates that got to stay open the entire time. But all small businesses, they got to stay open the entire time with 200 and 300 people. No masks were worn for forever, you know, and they got to stay open while the small business had 10 people show up and they had to be closed. No rationale behind it. What the rationale is, they want every single person who is successful to be centralized. They want all of these small businesses out of business, and they want national chains to come on in. It's easier to control. And if you think I'm wrong, look around. The shutdown is happening again. We called it. We called this from the very beginning, and it's not justified. Everybody's like, there's going to be a second wave. There's going to be a second wave. No, the only way there is a second wave, and it's not even going to be the second wave because it's been here since August. Erie County Health Department proved that. November 2019 dated is when they put all of those pamphlets for COVID-19 on every single Section 8 house. Every single one of them had it. They were delivered in December and January. It's been here since August. Second wave already hit. That's proven. No deaths. None. Zero. And we're going into another shutdown. Small businesses. You want to talk about your small business owners? If you support this, what you're supporting is literally the shutdown of your friend's business, of your neighbor's business. That's what you're supporting. You're literally supporting your elderly not being able to see anybody, to be terrified. That's what you support. With 0 deaths. Dozens of treatments. A new treatment just came out, asthma. An asthma medication proven to be highly effective. Hydroxychloroquine was working all along. Extremely effective. Dozens of treatments. We can't go to funerals still with this limited number of people to church. Church attacked. Absolutely attacked and continues to be attacked. Why? Because people can group together and then they could start to talk and then they can start to expose. Facebook, YouTube is burying content and deleting posts. Pages that I follow on YouTube were able to watch the video this morning and then gone. You know, these people who believe this conspiracy, this huge conspiracy, again, that is being used and weaponized against all of us, they never believed in pedophilia. Never believed it. Oh, that's a joke. Oh, they don't do it. Yeah, interesting. Because they were doing it for a long, long time. Decades, guys. Centuries. These people that believe in this pandemic, they never free think. They never free think. They believe what the narrative is, and they're dangerous. They're going to shut our small businesses down. How do we stop that? Well, I've talked about it, guys. We got to get these people out of office. I mean, and I don't care if it's at the voting polls. I don't care if it's with the sheriff's office. I don't care if it's with their violation of their oaths of office, constitutionality. We all have to educate ourselves on that. Because if we don't remove them peacefully, it's going to come down to bloodshed. Law enforcement right now is against polling cars. They hate him. They hate Byron Brown. They hate Cuomo. Our opportunity is now, guys, because if we don't, we are going to be in for the longest shutdown that you can possibly imagine. It's been planned. I posted it. WHO had it in all of their publications. They said September another one was coming. They're already doing it, guys. California's locked down. It's not conspiracy anymore. It's happening. I gotta go, guys, but I just wanted to cover that. National corporations, we need to sue them because they profited. They made trillions off of the backs of small business owners being closed. They need to all be sued, every single one. And then they need to be stripped of being able to be national corporations. And everybody needs to be deemed essential. If you can have 300 people in your store, you can have 10 people in your store. We're all essential. Every single business is essential. Every business goes back to having a state corporation and individually run in every single state. That's how we insulate ourselves from anything like this happening again. That's one of the pieces of the puzzle. I feel horrible for these business owners down in New York City, these restaurant owners. Sick to my stomach, which is why I'm on here now. Sick to my stomach that these people were finally able to open up. And you have a Stalin Nazi who has murdered 11,000 people and more in our state, shutting them down again. If you support masks, if you support this lockdown, you support the crushing of small business in this state and in this country. Have a good night, guys. I'll talk to you later. I know it was a little bit serious, but I do love you guys. Enjoy your evening. It's going to be a beautiful one. I'm going to go for a walk. I need it. Bye.